everyone, and welcome to the Learn From Us podcast. How are you, Paul?
Good. What time tonight do you want me over?
7.
That'd be good.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, we're not going to have dinner or anything, are we?
No.
Just hang out?
Just drinks and appetizers.
Should I bring my own Coke Zero?
Welcome to the podcast. No, I have Coke Zero for you.
Do you?
I just started making Kombucha.
Oh.
Do you like it?
No, I don't want to do that stuff.
Have you even tried it?
Yeah, I've tried it. It's
It's really good.
Is it?
I love it, bro.
Well, that's the kind of stuff you would love.
You cook the black tea.
If I had a beard like you did and I wore those hipster glasses, I too would.
It just tastes good. Forget about
love
hipster.
kombucha.
It tastes good. I mean, I'm trying to make it a pop replacement because it's black tea.
Oh, true.
Put a little sugar in it. The bacteria eats the sugar.
When you like it a lot, you go like this. Do you snap your fingers?
Can you do both hands? I can only do one.
That's pretty bad.
How have you been this past week?
Phenomenal. How about you?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been. Listen, life's great.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, it's really good.
You decided to not build your new house.
I did not.
And
I'm
just
remodeling.
just put a ton of money into your current house.
Yes, I'm going to remodel.
Which is somewhat, in your mind, outdated.
No, it's not outdated. It's not outdated. Well, the look I have is called Tuscan, and that has kind of seen its day, and I'm kind of over it.
You have been for a while.
Yeah, about 3 years now. So I thought, okay, let me go see if I can go change this up. So I'm going to, and the painter starts tomorrow.
You're kidding.
No, he starts tomorrow.
Oh, how nice. Tell me about the topic you wanted to talk to me about today, because I'm a very important person. I'm busy, so go ahead.
I've played guitar since December, right?
Has it been that long? Okay, yeah.
So this weekend I was at a tennis match, and they were playing music above.
Go on.
After we were done. Do you know the song Anywhere by Passenger? Or is it Passenger by Anywhere? Can you look it up on your phone, please? Or you want me to? I can. It doesn't matter.
Here. I do love Passenger, or that's the guy's name, right? Passenger.
Something like that. And then he sings that other song.
He sings that song, Let Her Go.
Yeah, I love that song.
Love it. He's great. He's got a really interesting...
your library. I don't want your library.
Yeah, go to Apple Music.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm going to play this right now, right?
Yeah, go ahead. See if it plays in. How cute.
So I'm learning this, right? Okay. So I'm listening to this song going, man, this song sounds so familiar. And then finally dawns on me what it is.
Wait a minute. It's a remake or?
No, I don't think it's a remake. I think they just copied each other. Ready?
Okay. Oh, shit.
It's TLC's Unpretty. Is it not the exact same song?
Go back to the first one.
Okay. How do you go back and forth really quickly? Can you?
I don't think so. I mean, when you're looking up music, you could have downloaded both of them.
Oh, could I have?
This episode's not sponsored by Apple Music, by the way. Wish it was, but along the same lines, subscribe to us on iTunes. Wow.
It's the exact same song. It's so funny. This was playing, and I'm like, I kept wanting to sing this. Finally, I started singing. I'm like, fuck, it's TLC. So I look it up. I'm like, it's the exact same song.
I'll be hearing from the...
Am I wrong? Should they not? I mean, I look at it going like, I'm sitting there thinking like it's the exact same beat, and I was like, okay, not that this is like I feel like I'm Sherlock Holmes now. Like
look at you go.
Yeah, I know, like I'm Matlock. I've cracked this whole case, but I'm sitting there going like,
Matlock.
Wasn't that a great show?
I didn't watch it that much.
Oh, I used to every summer. It was on at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'd watch it every day.
Okay, that's a great topic because I just mentioned to my wife yesterday there was something about growing up in the 80s.
Well, we grew up in the 90s, really.
I mean, I was 9 until 90, so
was I,
either
but...
way. Okay. Like, I'm trying to figure out, our kids are so bombarded. I don't even have cable. There's no DVR. They can't even watch TV. But the idea that TV has just switched to phones and computers and iPads, like, I just realized that I was so bored as a child with television. With television.
Were you?
I had to go outside.
Of course.
But nowadays, there's no on and off. Like, I'm trying to explain to my kids, like, when G.I. Joe in the morning came and went, if you missed it.
You missed it. It was done.
See
in
ya.
fact, you tried to record it on a VCR.
Right.
And then you'd sell the commercials and everything like that.
So, yeah, like, my kids would they wake up, their routine is they watch, like, these nudniks on YouTube, which they love them. They're doing great. I mean, these kids, and I don't know how they do it. Like, there are easily, like, 20 sets of kids on YouTube that just do wacky, zany stuff every single episode, and somehow their parents record it and edit it like the fastest ever or higher. I don't even know, but it's insane. But yeah, so this is what they watch all day long, and I'm like, why don't they just go out like?
Well, all you have to do is just say, guys.
No, I know it's parenting.
Yeah.
I know it's parenting, but it's just the draw. Like you say, I watched Matlock at 11, and I recall my mom worked nights, so she was never awake in the morning. Like she'd be sleeping, so it was just my sister and I. And like when those boring shows came on, like I'd watch Price is Right, like I'd watch that all the time. But when the soaps came on, like noon and beyond, you had to go outside and do something. I mean, it's just like it's not possible. My kids they're just so drawn. It's just a constant battle. Like get off the phone or the first thing that goes if they do something wrong is like
your iPad.
Yeah, electronics.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that goes. And I'm like, because Gary Vee says this all the time, like he grew up playing video games and they told him it would melt his brain and he'd be a total nudnik, he'd be an idiot for playing it. And then like now, like the Fortnite kid just
$3 million that guy just got.
That's amazing. Hold on a second.
He's 16.
I gotta fix
that. What are you doing?
I gotta fix that light behind you because I like when you're backlit. You look more stunning.
Oh, is that even possible? So, are we moving on from the amazing detective work that I did to find out that Passenger ripped the song off of TLC? Ripped the unless it is a sample and he just.
I assume the rant was over.
Yeah, the rant was over.
The real question is, did he just cover the song and you just didn't?
That's what I'm wondering. I don't think so though. So this is all over the place. Did you watch that Price is Right documentary on Netflix?
Well, it got a lot of. It's called The Perfect Bid, and I didn't see a lot of really great reviews, so I didn't watch it.
I enjoyed it.
Oh.
I enjoyed it very much.
What's the premise?
So this teacher from California has been to the show like 27 times, memorized every possible item. Like he created a database back in the 80s and 90s or something like that when he would program this database and literally keep track of every single item, how much the costs were. He memorized everything. So he goes to the show one day, and he happens to be in line with somebody. He's telling him about all these things that he can do, and the guy gets selected.
Yeah.
So the guy on the stage remembers this guy and starts looking at him, and he wins, and he goes into the Showcase Showdown.
Oh, wait, it wasn't the guy that remembered all the stuff? It was a guy on stage looking?
The perfect bid was not this guy who remembered everything. It was
so he had a patsy.
He threw the number out there, and he said it, and literally Drew Carey was like, well, this has never happened before. He's like, and then he said the guy who was the guy memorized everything. He said like they were pissed and they were like, is this show over? Has it been cracked? I mean, because he got it to the dollar, the Showcase Showdown, to the dollar. Like exactly right on the nose.
I thought this happened many, many decades ago. Is this recent?
Started like this guy started like over time, started memorizing all the prices and so the thing is like, there'd be certain items and they have different, variations of each item. So like, oh, is this one with the blah, blah, blah or the blah. So then, he goes on stage and he wins and the guy got a perfect bid. He literally got it on the nose, the exact dollar. And like supposedly like literally when that happened, like off stage, they were all like, well, we're fucked. Like the show's over. Price is Right's done. Like they all thought the show was over and done because they're like, somebody cracked. And it's like, it's not cracking a code. Just change up your products more. That's all it takes. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, thankfully for them, there's still a bunch of idiots out there that have no freaking clue what things could be priced from toothbrushes to
Listen,
Camaros.
I don't have I'm like watching this thing going,
neither.
Yeah.
Who would?
They're like, what's the next number? I'm like, 12. I'm like, I don't know. Sir, it's only one digit at a time. I have no idea.
Yeah. I love some of the games at Chance or like some of the games that, like you get up there and you get like Plinko.
Plinko's great, by the way.
It is, but like some of them you can actually use your mind. The other ones are like, guess any number. And you're like, I don't they have the cards and it's like higher or lower. It's like, I don't freaking know. It could be anything.
It could be.
This is no skill building. So
obviously, when it's a car, the first number is usually the easiest one.
Yeah,
the guy got it on the nose, and the thing was the guy in the crowd, the guy who cracked this whole thing, it wasn't like he knew it for sure. He was just like, and I think it was something like he threw out the number after having some general idea, and it was exactly the right number. I mean, literally to the dollar.
Let's get down to brass tacks here. You are always weary in warning folks of bubbles.
I'm warning people of overheated markets.
And the months keep going by.
Yep.
And the market keeps staying strong.
Yep.
What are your current thoughts about some bubbles out there that you...
I do think the stock market is in a bubble of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the word bubble gets overused all the time. It gets, and it's same with us, like same the word crash. Paul, when's the crash coming? I don't know. I don't care. I don't know. I don't need a crash. All I'm saying is there will be a better time to buy in the future than today. The longer and longer good markets go and grow, the more likely there is going to be a crash, though. That is a fact. You know, the longer and longer booms happen without justification, the more likely that there's going to be, a significant downturn. I do think stocks, based on his 150 years of historical data, back to 1871, show that we are very expensive, in some metrics even worse than 1999, 2000, and definitely 2007. So I look at that saying, okay, it's just really hard. You know, the person who tutors me or not teaches me investing, he has to look for companies under $100 million in order to find deals. Because he says nobody looks at these companies, so that's where I got to find them. He has companies in his portfolio that he won't even tell his investors. And he has a small fund, $11 million fund. He's got a $250,000 position in a company. He won't tell anybody what the company is because he sit there and said, listen, if I tell you the company is, the price can easily be manipulated. $250,000 position can get manipulated by telling a small, you know what I mean? That shows you how small these companies are. In terms of big companies, I mean, it's just hard to find value. Real estate, the thing about real estate that's interesting is we just heard about a big company. We won't get into names, but they're having a hard time refinancing their properties. They're not getting the values they thought. So we're like, see?
Can you repeat that statement?
They bought properties, rehabbed them, and thought they'd get certain values when they refinance them, and they're not getting those values.
From the appraiser? Or?
Yeah, from the appraiser. So this is what we tell people all the time. We do good deals, whether the market's good or bad. The plus side of that is we don't care if the market goes terrible. We still have a good deal. We're still generating great cash flow. Everybody thinks they do that, but when you buy in this market, it's hard to do that. When we buy, we're looking for a great deal where whether the market tanks 30% or goes up 30%, our deal is still a good deal. It's better if it goes up. We don't want the market to determine our success.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said this. A rising tide raises all ships, right? So how do you know who a good investor is if it's only because the market's going up? You find out who a good investor is based on how do they do when the market goes down. Doesn't mean they're not going to go down with it, but if the market goes, if real estate goes down whatever percentage, it's easier in the stock market. If the stock market goes down 30% and your money is down 10% because of smart investing and managing your risk, that's it. I mean, that's a better investor to me. I want to see when people tell me somebody did well, I go, oh, show me their data back through the last bear market. Well, why does that matter? Well, I want to see a full bear and bull cycle. If you're only showing me the bull market, everybody can make money in a bull market except for me. You know what I mean? I don't beat the market when the market's really good. I beat the market when the market's bad. And I buy these good assets. And then when the market's good, for the first few years, I do very, very well. And then after that, it's like I do about the market or something like that. Like I'm not going to crush every year. But I look at these things saying, I do think the stock market is bubblicious. 10 years of a bull market we've had. 10 years, Seth.
Yeah.
That's like insane. The 90s didn't have 10 years straight of a bull market. The 90s, which was considered like the biggest heyday of stocks ever. The 1920s didn't have 10 years of a bull market. I'm looking at this going, and why is everything good? You know,
that was my question to you. I mean,
it's all perception. You know, Howard Marks wrote a great article recently, and he's right about this. Everybody's cheering lower interest rates by the Fed, right? Like, yes, it shows.
Yes, I heard it this morning.
That's a bad thing. The Fed only lowers interest rates if they think things are getting worse.
Really?
Yes. Think about why would they lower interest rates?
Well, I don't have as much knowledge as you do about it.
Well, what would lowering interest rates do? It would spur investment, right? Because people can borrow for less money.
Sure,
they're going to go spend more, right? So why would we do that unless if things are good, would you want to spur more investment? Or when things are bad, you want to kind of stop the bleeding?
Sure.
And that's why the Fed is there. When rates are going up, it means things are getting better and we were worried about inflation now. Like, okay, things are getting so good, wages are getting so great that we need to worry about cooling things down because of how fast things are growing. But we don't cheer that. We cheer lower rates.
Yeah, well, it's good for me today if
Right.
I'm getting a house or something.
Correct, exactly. Like I'm refinancing my home potentially, And I was literally told by my banker, just wait a month because if rates go down, you're going to save a quarter point.
Same banker I know? Different banker?
No, different banker.
Okay, go on.
So anyhow, I hate talking about bubbles because everybody uses the term bubble and crash. So I'm waiting for the next crash. It's like, okay, there will be a crash. At some point in the future, whether it's today or 10 years, there's always crashes. We've had how many in the last 30 years? But if you're a good investor, you don't need a crash. You just need things to be calmer.
Yeah.
That's it.
We talked about how, like, when this information gets down to the lay public is when you start worrying, like, about bubbles, like when Bitcoin was very large and just like people were literally just typing on Facebook, like, I need to get into Bitcoin. Someone help me. But I swear I've been saying this for a while. Maybe the past 8 months ago, I heard normal people who know nothing about their money as like, boy, this crash is coming. I got to get ready.
That's the problem.
How so?
That's a problem for me going, well, maybe it's not coming then soon. If the average person thinks there's a crash coming, I don't like that. Now, granted, you got to remember, you're always going to have the naysayers no matter what the market is. You're always going to have the negative Nellies, or as my buddy Kevin calls it, nervous Noah, that talk about things are always going to be bad, and when things get bad, if stocks fell by 70% tomorrow, I wouldn't be sitting there saying stocks can go further down. I'd sit there and say, listen, if you buy today, you're going to do well over the long run. Stocks could fall 20% more. Stocks could fall 30%. I don't know, but the whole point is, if I buy today based on this valuation, what's it going to look like 10, 20, 30 years from now? Mm-hmm. That's the way I look at investments. If I invest the money today, what's it going to look like? When I look at real estate deals today, would I make money over 30 years and yeah, I would do okay. But the funny part is, I'm not here to do okay. I'm not here to do 8 to 10%. Now, granted, every single person listening to this who buys real estate today goes, well, I'm not going to make 8 or 10%. Well, yeah, you don't think you're going to because you're buying on all these assumptions, but the assumptions have to turn out to be true. And usually during bubble times, it's not the way it happens. So let me read a little quote that my friend Gary, the investment guru, put on LinkedIn recently. The time to worry about what can go wrong is when most things are going right. This makes now an excellent time to think about risks, since most others are too busy being greedy. The more euphoric the markets get, higher valuations, money-losing IPOs, permissive credit markets, plentiful liquidity, the more nervous you should get. Right now, that means is money's too easy to borrow.
Yeah.
And margins on that money are much smaller and smaller. That's when there's concern. You should be concerned when it's too easy to get money, when the average Joe can get money very easily. This does not mean timing the market, which is what I did wrong. And nobody I know gets that right often enough to make it worthwhile. True. If you wait to start worrying until everybody else is worried, you're likely to pay dearly. If you assume a serious recession and market decline sometime in the next 3 to 5 years, does your portfolio have the staying power to come out ahead on the other side? So, Gary's point at the end is, if there's going to be a recession next 3 to 5, I got to think there's a really high likelihood. We can't go, I shouldn't say we can't go. In 13 or 15 years without a recession or stock market decline, that'd be insane. But I look at gang saying, first off, for you, Seth, you shouldn't care because you're 38. You got plenty of time before you have 30 years till you retire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't, but some people just don't like seeing their money go down. Well, guess what? It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I look at these things saying, when I look at historical, correlations and like that, we are in for a very bad next 10 years. What does that very bad means? We're probably going to be, based on very high correlated data from the last 150 years, we're probably going to be pretty similar to the same level in the S&P 10 years from now it is today, with dividends included. So the S&P index could very well be lower 10 years from now than today. Now, does that mean it's just going to go flat like this and be a straight line? No, that's not what happens in stocks. There's big drops and big rebounds and all that stuff. Doesn't mean you can't make money, but as an investor who's just saving for retirement, as the market goes down, you can't be worried. You just got to keep saving, keep saving, keep saving, keep saving. That's it. My job is to find the best opportunity available for my money at any given time. If that means there's no opportunities, then I stay out of it. Somebody's in my office the other day, and I put this on LinkedIn, bragging about how his son is buying all the real estate he can. And I was just like...
now?
Yeah, and then he was also saying like, oh, all those idiots back in 07 who were buying real estate in 06. I was like, well, okay, that's fine. I don't see much different. I didn't say this, but I'm thinking to myself, like, just because you do deals doesn't mean it's great. And I look at that saying, will he do fine? Will his son do fine over 30? Absolutely. His son will do probably 10 to 12% returns on his real estate. To me, I'd rather wait and make the 20% returns I know I can by being a little more patient than I've been uncomfortable for 3 or 4 years. I don't mind being uncomfortable for 3 or 4 years to make 20% returns for the other 10 years. You know what I mean? That's my thing. And again, I sit there and wait and wait and wait and read and play chess and play guitar and play basketball and tennis.
Does someone like me, would it be wise to have the same patience?
You only have to find one deal a year, Seth.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do is find one good deal a year. You can find that in this market.
That would transform my life.
Yeah. If you did one deal a year, you can find that in this market. Will there be other markets that make it a lot easier? Absolutely. But you just need to find one good deal per year. Just like most people out there. You're not looking to deploy, that person who said the other day, I wanted to be a joke and say, oh, does your son have $100 billion? Because if your son has $100 billion, I can understand him deploying as much capital as he can. But they have a lot of money, but they don't even have $100 million. So I'm looking at going, don't go deploy capital, just deploy it. You are looking to invest $20,000 to $50,000. Go find a deal or two that works.
Interesting.
Yeah. But anyways, patience is the hardest thing because, I get teased about it and all that stuff saying, oh, when's that crash coming? I'm like, well, I didn't ever say in the real estate market there's a crash coming. All I say is prices are very, very high and they have to come back down to reality. If you want to call it a crash, go right ahead. It could also just be stagnation for a while. That's not usually what happens. But all of a sudden, people just change their mind. And then people say to me, oh, I don't see anything on the horizon. Well, that's what makes it sudden, people. We never see what the thing's going to be. That never happened. Now, by the way, a few people do. Even back, if you look at 2007, there were a few very, very smart people who saw this whole thing happening. When I say a few, though, I mean literally, you saw the movie
Big Short.
Big Short. They were literally being laughed out of rooms at these banks.
Yeah.
And all those guys lost their jobs when their banks went under. Okay, sounds good. Who was the one laughing then? And I know it sounds terrible, but anyhow, I don't need crashes. I just need better times. I need normal times, and I'll outperform.
Yeah.
Boom times suck. Crashes are incredible, but normal times, I'll outperform all day. I'm not worried about that.
Crashes are incredible.
I mean, they are incredible. I mean, people, that's the thing.
People who are investing, sure.
Well, that's the thing, but 99% of people out there who put deploying capital don't like that. I mean, I hear people bragging about their deals, and I'm like, I heard somebody recently bragging about, they're like, oh, we get 20% returns on our, I'm like, that's bragging. I mean, yeah, 20% is good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that made him seem like he was like a god. I'm like, that's like our worst. Like I have real estate paid in cash that gets me 16% paid off in cash, like no debt. That guy has to use a lot of debt in order to get 20% returns. Would you rather have 16% returns with no debt or 20% returns with lots of debt?
Sure.
I don't think that's even a question.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. And again, I'm crazy. I'm nervous. I'm negative. I'm scared. Blah, 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 blah.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada. I will just... But the good thing about this market stuff is, how many businesses have we started in the last 5 years, 4 years? A lot.
They seem to be thriving too.
I mean, they're doing well. There's only, I think I can only think of one that I'm sitting there going like, okay, we made our money. Maybe it's time at the end of its run.
How old is BD Supplies?
A year and a half.
Oh,
yeah.
And then
Rockman's Fit Active Sports is
Fit
one of our.
Active
That
Sports.
one's going great. Crossroads Property Restoration's going great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's great.
How's the tiny home outlook?
Not very good. That
Really?
one's having a hard time selling. So maybe renting is the way to go.
Someone.
Plus, Lisa left now.
I see.
So it's kind of like, who's gonna?
I got interested in tiny homes, and apparently, like all over eBay, they're selling tiny home kits as well.
Yeah, probably.
And it comes with Home Depot does the same thing, right? You can buy a shed, or you can pay for their expert installation.
Of course. Aren't you the expert installer at Home Depot?
I hooked up my Tesla by myself.
What do you mean you hooked it up?
I hooked up a 220 volt.
Did you really?
Ran it through the whole damn house.
You did not.
I did.
All by yourself.
Well, Hank and Gio helped.
Okay, that's safe.
Well, so I ran the cord through the house and I ran it and put with the conduit and all that.
Come
and
on.
Ran it into
How'd you do this?
Well, look, if you're ever trying to do, listen, this is my tip in life. I lost my dad 15 years ago, so I'd never had that old guy to tell me how to do something. But if you can go to Home Depot, if you're looking to do a project and you go to Home Depot, I find the oldest guy there because they're just like freaking the wizard, And this dude, he was in back in the electrical system, and I'm like, yeah, I need to hook this up. Like, look, it's not like a sexist thing, but like if there's a 22-year-old woman walking around Home Depot, I'm not obviously going to ask her about electrical issues. Like she doesn't have there's no way. I mean, call me crazy, but this old dude was like, yeah, I've been doing electricity for 35 years. It's like, great. Well, I need this, and he just got me all set up with everything I needed, answered all my questions.
Did you shut off the I didn't even see them walk in. Did you shut off the entire house?
Didn't even have to. I swear. You hook it all up into like this breaker box, and you just shove it in. You could have to be safe.
But why do that when you have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an 8-year-old?
What I would say is I got final approval from my father-in-law, who has been doing electricity a long time as well. So,
Okay.
but like he gave yep, this makes sense, and we shoved it all in, and boom. We even had some problems like it was throwing a bad code, and we fixed it, and now the Tesla's fired away. Plugging away there.
So how fast does it charge now?
44 miles an hour. I get 44
wow.
miles in 1 hour of charge, and so it's pretty good. But man,
so
oh, man.
overnight you're full charge.
Oh yeah, but Jesus, these sweet Jesus, Lord, these superchargers now, bro. I mean, 600 miles an hour. You plug in, and you can get a full. I mean, it's just insane.
By the way, when he's saying 600 miles per hour, what he's saying is you get 600 miles of travel for every hour it's plugged in.
That's right.
Not
So,
not
like,
the thing is going 600 miles per hour.
that'd be dope though. But I mean,
Although the Tesla in front of me today when I was leaving my neighborhood was going quite slow.
was it?
I was like, hey, bro, you've got an
Listen.
electric drill there. Just go.
There's something really. I thought
Arrogant.
no. Like there are multiple times when I'm cruising in that car and I think I'm going over the speed limit. I'll see a cop and I look down and I'm going under.
Really?
There's something cool about that car. It's like when you want to go fast, yeah, but like a lot of times I'll look down like, oh shit, there he is, and I look down and I'm like, oh, I'm cool. So
I bought a fun car this week, and nobody knows about this except for Lisa.
what are you talking about? What you talking about?
I bought a fun car this week.
You gonna tell us?
I'm going to tell you. So, have you guys ever seen the show Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee?
I watched it because you told me.
Did you like it?
I'm sad to say
You did not like it.
I did not like it.
Okay, either way.
Go on.
The new season came out,
Uh-huh.
and in one of the episodes, there was a car called a Nissan Figaro.
Okay.
Please look this thing up. I thought it was the most adorable car. It's right-hand steering. It's this 1990. They built it for 1 year. They built 20,000 units. Figaro.
Oh, Jesus.
Nissan Figaro. Figaro. Do you see it?
This looks like a mid-60s Studebaker.
It does.
Or something.
It looks like it's built in 1991. Are you guys looking it up now?
1991 two-door convertible.
I found one for $9,000 in Florida.
This is a joke.
This is not a joke. It's getting delivered to me sometime in the next few weeks. I'm so excited about this car. Lisa's scared to death because it weighs 1,780 pounds.
Hold on a second, folks. Yeah.
I joined all these Facebook groups, the Nissan Figaro Buyers Club.
Just wait a second. Folks, you have to go online. You just bought like this jalopy looking, like it looks like a British.
It does.
Like a little Austin Powers British little. What are you talking about?
I'm so excited about this thing.
Folks, the last car he had was some Audi A9
R8, yes.
R8 that looked like a Batmobile. And then he buys this should be what Mrs. Doubtfire drives around.
You know what? It is what Mrs. Doubtfire drives around. It's gonna be so it's right-hand steering. Mine's black. It's a convertible though.
This is a clown car.
It is a clown car. You're exactly right, and I'm so excited for it.
Well, I want to drive it.
So it was $9,000. It wasn't expensive. And I'm excited because it's just going to sit. I might just put it in my drawer in the kitchen because it's so small.
Well, you recently told me you're putting on 4 new garage spaces.
Well,
What's
I
wrong
don't think
with
that's
you?
going to happen.
What's wrong with
the
you?
neighborhood's like, yeah, F off. You're not doing that.
Wow.
I'm trying to do all these things to my house. I think the neighborhood's going to, like, I wanted to put up a wall around my house.
Yes. Oh,
They're
build the
like,
wall? Build the wall.
Yeah,
Yes.
build the wall. They're like, no. So now I want to put up like a wall of bushes around my entire property. That way nobody can see it.
It takes a long time for them to grow, though.
I'll just buy mature ones. Mature ones.
All right.
I'm so excited, but mine's black. It's
Wow.
not one of the original colors. There's
Listen,
4 original
folks.
colors. Mine was painted.
When you have $100 million portfolio and you're just brutally handsome,
Well,
one day you can go look this car up, a 91 Nissan Figaro.
It was $9,890.
This looks like a joke, but you'll see Paul pumping through Akron.
Funny thing is, I refuse to drive it on the freeway. I'm not going to drive. I just got it for, honestly, it's just a cute car. And I thought to myself, I want to,
Wow.
redo some interior in it, make it look all spazzy and snazzy. So,
Wow.
Lisa's moving to Sugar and Falls.
Hmm?
So I thought about having this at her house. That way we can drive to Sugar and Falls
Oh, how cute.
in it
Just
because
the two of you,
just the
a little
two of us,
picnic
and a little, driving to dinner, driving for ice cream. And she's like, I do not want to get in that car. It's too small. I'm like, relax.
Wow.
We're going down the street here. We're literally driving
I got to see this.
4 miles.
How funny. All right, folks, thanks for joining us.
I think it's adorable.
Subscribe to us on YouTube.
By the way, my insurance agent it listens to the podcast. So Mitch.
Is this my insurance agent too? Yeah, it is.
Mitch?
Yeah.
I love Mitch. But this will come out probably after I have the car.
Okay.
So Mitch, I'll be calling you soon about this one. He's probably like, what is this guy doing?
Oh, he'll need full coverage on this puppy.
This thing is probably going to be $100 every 6 months for insurance. It's going to sit in my garage, and
How funny.
I'm excited about this.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on iTunes.
Can I just make another comment? How excited you all were when I said I bought a car. Like, Don's like ready to hear this. Like,
Oh, we're frothing
just
at the
like,
mouth.
Yeah, like, what'd he buy? Ferrari. Nissan Figaro from 1991. They only made 20,000 of them. Thank you very much.
Collector's edition.
Yes.
Yep. Limited edition. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. See you guys.
Peace.